Hey, how's it going, guys? It's 7:30 in Toronto, the TO, the six, as they say. Anyway, you're not interested in geography or time. Um, my name is Paul Silva. I wanted to just jump on the live here, the live, like I know it, and just talk a little bit about what I do, and want to also touch points on transitions, because I am a life and personal development coach, and I work primarily with people in transition. And that can be transitions that we've chosen or any changes that have chosen us. And that can be anything from, any work issues like promotion, job loss. It could be, retirement. Yeah, that's a big one. Or personal. It could be a big move. It could be a loss or gain of a family member. It could be, graduating from school. And there's a lot of questions that go around all those transitions, and that is, what now? And so there's a lot of mindset things that go along with that, including like, where am I going to go? How am I going to do this? And that's the kind of thing that I love, sinking my teeth into. Grr. Um, but, before I got into this, I just want to give you a little kind of quick recap of who this Paul Silva is. Why am I speaking in the third person? Uh, so I'm here in Toronto, and I was a chef for over 25 years. And I loved it, and it's treated me so well. And I got to do some really cool things and meet some really cool people. But by the end, the passion was starting to go, and I felt that I myself was starting to get into a transition, trying to getting into a new mode. And the one thing that I found after doing some work was that what really appealed to me in my career was helping people, was mentoring, guiding, and really pushing them. And I even taught at a college for a bit, and that's because I really liked to tap into people's potential. I know it's such a cliche coach thing. I know, design your life potential, but I really did. I really enjoyed that, and I still do. And so as I went through my own shift and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I had a lot of help, and I had some programs, and a lot of inner work that got done, and I decided I wanted to be a coach. And so I marched forth and did that. So there's no big scheme. I just signed up for a coaching course. But what has come from that is a real purpose, a further purpose, a shifting, a new way of being. And that has really catapulted my own sort of vibration, my way of showing up in the world. Another thing about me is that, talking about huge transitions, was I've been in recovery for about 7.5 years from alcoholism. And I had a podcast, I had a blog, and I had a book. I have a book, actually, and I just happen to have it here. Okay, so Longing for the Spirit. And essentially it is a bunch of essays that I curated over time on my blog and podcast, and a ton of new stories and insights, and chock full of, if you know me, I just love pop culture references, and I get goofy. So it's kind of humorous. I don't take, I take recovery seriously, but I didn't take myself too seriously. I used to take myself very seriously, and that was a problem. But that also was a huge transition for me. That is a mind, body, spirit thing that happened. And for a lot of you guys who might be in transition, or people who are in transition, there is more than just going from point A to point B. And we do go through that, but there's a space. Essentially there's three parts to a transition, and that is the ending, that goes first, then sort of the middle ground, the muddy middle, as they say, and then the beginning, the new beginning. And I was just looking through the book, actually, and I landed on a page, and I just kind of scanned it, and I thought it was actually appropriate. And I just wanted to just quickly read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. All of the essays are short. It's a quick read. This one is actually probably was the most popular blog post that I had ever written, and it's called I'm Fine, I Want to Die. kind of grim title, but I just wanted to read one part because it really does tie in, I think, to transition. So the context is that, you know, for so many people who are suffering, when people ask them how you doing, it's just, I'm fine, I'm fine. And really, we know. A part of me felt that by saying I was okay when really I was collapsing under the weight of my own darkness, I would perhaps be able to trick myself into feeling fine. Perhaps if I gave that tepid word enough energy, it would manifest itself into a meager smile, or at least get me away from the fire of my own pain. Fake it until you make it, they say. Faking was easy. Telling you was all right was a way to keep you away from me and to bolster the little one-act passion play that I had going on inside. I could crucify myself over and over, but I'd only let you see the setting sun behind the hill and not the nails and cross. I played into my own fantasy that I wasn't important enough to be fretted over by anyone, including myself. So it wasn't until I couldn't hold back anymore, when I was brimming with enough toxic unfineness, that I broke down. Binges, anxiety attacks, lashings of self-pity, angry diatribes. All of these played out to a sense of doom and failure. The dishonesty and shame of going against my own grain only fueled things further. I wanted to let the release valve go, to just be held and told that I would be okay. But I didn't share that with others because I didn't want to look weak or foolish. How damning that was to myself. How cruel that was. How selfish towards those who would have been able to help people who were itching to see my pain go away. I'm fine. And I'm reading that, and I think back at how rough it was in that middle part. And so, you know, there's three reasons why people struggle with transitions. The first one is that they can't make peace or accept the fact that something is ending. Now, whether, again, it's something that people may think is positive, like a promotion or moving to a new city, starting something new, there's still a part that is comfortable with the old part, even though it may not serve them anymore. And until it's fully accepted, it's going to be a challenge to move from that ending into the next phase. So really, it's about figuring out what it is inside that we're holding on to release and to let go of that ending. The second reason why people struggle with transitions is in that middle ground, that sort of muddy middle. And it's because they're unwilling to sit in that unease or that dis-ease, that neutral zone, that emptiness. And it may feel like emptiness because it may feel like it's a long ride. And, you know, in a way, if we think about it, it's a passage. It's getting from point A to point B, and it may seem dark, and it might seem really challenging, but really it's a place of introspection. It could be almost like a grieving place. You know, it's kind of like a level one kind of, if anyone's familiar with the 7 energy levels, it's a place where we're kind of healing, you know, and we're trying to find the space just to be, and just to, you know, to find renewal. And so that middle section, people find it very tough because they don't see that light at the end of the tunnel, and they're tempted to go back to the old. And so that is really where insight and doing the work and just kind of retreating a little into self, but really knowing that there's going to be growth in there. And the third reason that people struggle with transition is, you know, that new beginning. I mean, it's exciting, but still people have a hard time stepping into it. You know, that's where, you know, times where self-sabotage happens, where, you know, feel like I'm not worthy. That can come up as well. And so people, again, are willing to retreat a little bit because it's too much. You know, who am I to have this wonderful new job? Who am I to have this new relationship? Who am I to get clean and sober? And so when people get to that point, it's about maintaining the vision, holding that vision, and staying into action. And that's where, you know, working with someone or just on your own, seeing what they need to do to get to the next steps. Now, sometimes we're forced into it, death of a loved one, but there's a point where we just have to look at ourselves and say, I need to do this because I need to get there, and to embrace and accept that this new beginning really is a new beginning. So I hope this is helpful. You know, and again, I also wanted to introduce myself. So if there's any other questions you have about transitions, about the book or anything recovery related, I am available, and it's been great. I'm going to be doing more of these lives and really kind of give you some more content and value, and hope to really get to know you guys. And I just wish you a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And thanks again. Take care.